Hey, welcome back to Cooking for the Hungry. I'm Papa and I am cooking for the hungry. Today we're going to do one of my favorites and one of all my kids and wife's favorites is chicken fried rice. I like to make it a lot of times with chicken and shrimp, but today I've just got chicken. And by the way, it's chicken that's been put back from a baked chicken, so it's nice and tender and tasty. So I thawed that out. But I really appreciate you tuning in today. And this time we're going to try to get everything on the screen you can see. I'm working on my abilities to videotape and to edit, but I really appreciate you tuning in, and you can look forward to things getting a lot better with the quality of video and the quality of my ability to express some great recipes. So without further ado, let's move over to the table and we'll talk about ingredients. Alright, let's take a look at the ingredients. Let's see. With your chicken fried rice, the way I have it set up, you can use chicken and shrimp or just shrimp. Just let yourself go whatever you want to do. You want 2 cups of it combined. You make this dish the way I have it made, set up, and the way I'm going to make it. It could be a main dish for say 2 or 3 people, and definitely a side dish for 4 or 5. One of my favorite ways is to make it with my garlic chicken, which is a lot of work trying to get those 2 dishes together on the same stove top. But it goes good, really good together. So, okay, 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil twice. That's because you're going to use 2 tablespoons at different points. I used to use peanut oil a lot instead of vegetable oil, but it has gotten so expensive that I'm using vegetable oil most of the time. 2 cloves of garlic, 3 or 4 if they're small, and I crush them always. You can see that I usually always crush them, but you can certainly mince them. I'm not going to give a lot of lip service much to you anymore here about ingredients, about dried. If you're using dried, please just measure out the appropriate amount. See, 6 to 7 eggs. I always add 7. It's a lot of protein. You get the chicken and the eggs, and some in the rice. It'll get you some protein. I pack it full of protein. 3/4 cup of frozen peas and cubed carrots, because it just saves time rather than getting out some fresh carrots and cutting them up into small pieces and stuff like that. It's just easier to do. 3/4 cup to a cup. 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and after I put in the 1/4 cup and start mixing things together, I may add a little bit more. It just depends on how it looks to me. And heaping tablespoon of chives. If you're using fresh, if you can get it, 1.5 tablespoons. Then of course you have your rice ingredients set over on the side, and your rice, the pan you're going to cook it in. I usually use a 3/4 pan with a lid. You want a cup of long grain rice, or you can split it between long grain and wild rice. It's good either way. 2 cups of chicken broth, and I usually use less sodium chicken broth. I think it's usually 33% less. That's good. That's good enough. And then I use a clove of garlic and a small pinch of salt. You know, just probably an eighth to a quarter teaspoon would be fine. 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil for here, for when you add the rice to the main dish. Alright, like I said, this is a good one. I like it. It's easy to make, and people have always liked my fried rice. I've never had any complaints, and what they usually tell me is this is so much better than what they get in the restaurants. Well, of course it is. Making it at home always better. Alright, so let's move over to the stove and get started. Alright, here we are back at the stove. Let's talk about a few things real quick. Now, if you're going to start out with fresh chicken or shrimp, I always buy shrimp that's frozen. It's divine, but it still has a shell on. So I thaw those out ahead of time a little bit, and I deshell them and all that, so they're ready to fry. And I take my chicken, get it cut up. I brown it a little bit on both sides and cut it up on a cutting board, ready to throw back in and cook some more. But today, like I said earlier, I have chicken that's already cooked from a baked chicken that's ready to go, nice and tasty and tender. So let's get the old skillet warmed up, and I've got butter in it ready to go for the eggs, because I'm skipping the beginning part of cooking the chicken. I've got everything ready over here in the rice. It's all ready to go. And put a little butter in there because I was short some chicken broth, so I put some butter in there and some water. That'll help kind of make up for it. So let's get that going and get it boiling. Now I'm using a big skillet here. It's a big heavy skillet, so it takes a little longer to get things going. So I'll be right back once I get all this stuff cooking and going, alright? Alright, now we got the skillet ready for the eggs. And the rice is getting ready to start boiling. You'll notice that the eggs are whole. I didn't scramble them or nothing. That's not my intention. I'm going to pour them into the skillet. I like to do it this way because if you scramble them, you mix it all up and it doesn't have that color, it just has some yellow in your fried rice. This will give some yellow and white mixed in. It just seems to taste better too. I don't know why, but it does. I'll let them get the little bit cooked on the bottom, and I'm going to break the yolks. Now, rice is simmering now. I'm going to go ahead and cover it. Set my timer for 20 minutes. Go ahead and break the yolks here. Just tap a couple times on top. It'll start running. Now I'll wait until that gets cooked pretty good. I'm going to cover that up for a minute. That'll help get them cooked a little quicker. I don't want to overcook the eggs. I just get them cooked, and then I put them in a container to the side, and I add them back in, after I work on the chicken a little bit. Like I said, the rice is going good. It's got everything in it. The rice has got the garlic, a little bit of salt, the chicken broth, and the rice. You know, on the chives, I'm not going to add those in until I stir the rice in. I like that taste, but if you leave it in there too long, it kind of mushes up and breaks down and you can't see it. I like people to be able to see things in their food. It makes it appetizing. Alright, I'm going to take the lid off here. I'm going to kind of just do this little circular motion in the middle of the egg. Like I said, I want some of the pieces to be white, and I want some of the pieces to be yellow. It's getting there. Big skillet. But I like it. Once you get it warmed up, boy, you're going. You'll start going to town. I also like a big skillet like this because I'm tossing stuff around in there. Like you see me make a mess the other day, this kind of helps keep that from happening. It don't stop it because I'm still a messer. Cooked, we get it all around there, we'll get it all cooked. I'm going to go ahead and start chopping it up a little bit. I don't want big pieces in there. So you add a little TLC. It always makes a difference in your food. Tender loving care. You want your food to look good and you want it to taste good. Okay, I think that's done enough. You won't be able to see me do it here, but I'm going to put this in a container over here to the right of me. Get all that out of the skillet. And I have all my things preheated now. And I have all my ingredients measured out. Makes a big difference. I'm going to put in, let's see, I'm going to put in some vegetable oil. I'm going to throw the chicken in. When I make this for myself, a lot of times I put a lot more in this. I'll put 2 cups of chicken and 2 pounds of rice in this. It really loads it up. The rice is getting too hot. Turn that down some. I like to load all my dishes up with protein. My wife and I are on a high protein diet, so we add a lot of protein to things. But you wouldn't normally put so much protein in. That smells good. Make sure we ain't got too big pieces going on here. See, get you down here where you can see this a little better. chicken's ready. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze my garlic in there. Calls for 2 cloves, but it took 3 to make 2. A little smaller. I like to get this on in so the taste can get to moving around. Garlic will move around and add flavor to your dish quick. Just fresh. Alright. There we go. Get that stirred around a little bit. Yeah, smell that good. Go ahead and get our vegetables in here. Carrots and the peas. It's going to take them long to thaw out. And cook a little bit. It will not take long. Here was getting too hot. Now we're simmering. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Kind of a medium high. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit while that rice cooks. I want that rice to come off in time to get all this in here together. So I'll be right back with you. Alright, just to get this cranking back up here. The rice is almost done. Let's see, we're going to be putting in the soy sauce and the hoisin sauce. Sometimes when I get to this point, if it's too dry, I will add a little bit more oil, another tablespoon or so. I'm going to go ahead and stir it around. It is red-eye. Alright. Go ahead and get this going on. Soy sauce. Stir that around. Okay. Rice should be done. Perfect timing. I'm going to go ahead and get that rice cooked up a little bit. Kind of hard to get it all mixed in with everything sometimes, but it'll work. Alright, got the rice in there, chop it around a little bit. Put the eggs on top of that. Toss it around a little. Sometimes I add
different sauces. Put the hoisin sauce in here in just a second. And I may put a little bit more soy sauce too. I don't measure out the real thick sauces. I do my guesswork. You can do it however you want. Sometimes you can take some sauces and warm them up a little bit and make them a little runnier so they're easier to measure out and pour out. A piece of the rice in here I'm trying to break up a little bit. I'll spread this out in the middle. I'm going to put a little bit more soy sauce in here. Put my hoisin sauce in here in the middle. There we go. 1, 2. Thick. Just mix it up a little bit. Sort of looking like fried rice, huh? I have literally had people ask me in the grocery store if I know how to make fried rice because they're looking for ingredients when I'm in the Chinese section, food section. And I tell them, yeah, I know how. Get your phone out and I'll tell you. They ain't got time. They want to know how, but they ain't got time. It's important to take time to, learn how to do it right. You know what I say. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in chives. Add flavor or color. Toss it around some more. Good. Today I am hungry. Looks pretty good, folks. I think there you have it. Got fried rice. Chicken fried rice. One of my favorites. Alright, that's it. I'm going to cover it up and get it over to the table. You have a good day and thanks for tuning in. And we will see you next time. Have a good day.